Welcome to the Business Growth Podcast. Today I'm here with Steve from Associated Stock Taking. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me, Leonard. It's a pleasure.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit more about what you guys do.
So, Associated Stock Taking, we're a company that's been around for a very long time. We were started in the mid-80s, and we did valuation stock takes for business handover. That's where the company sort of originated. The story's quite fun. Some gentleman bought a deli and couldn't find a stock taker to do it and thought, there's a great business idea. And that's what set it all in motion. And from there, we've grown. I got involved in the business along with a gentleman called Andy Goldthorpe. The two of us came over from the UK and we got involved in 2007. Yeah. And, we found out a company that had a great history, but was needing a little bit of attention. We changed things a lot. We had an office, sold the office, but ultimately what we did was took the business in a certain direction where instead of just focusing on the business handover stock takes, we became more sort of inventory specialists for those companies who need to stay on top of their stock regularly, and identifying some of the businesses that require that. It was quite clear that the first target should become the liquor stock taking specialist of Australia, because I'd always say to the liquor store owners, if you're not going to take care of your stock, someone else will, mate. And the best way to stay on top of it is to have accurate stock takes, accurate stock on hand, accurate stock files. So we are all over all aspects of liquor stock taking, from doing stock takes, uploading results, professional handling of data, variance reporting, procedures, all that stuff. So yeah, we became, in my mind at least, and certainly in the mind of our customers, the go-to provider for liquor stock takes, because we just go that extra mile and we've specialized in the area.
Okay, awesome.
From there, we actually have another sort of specialization that grew out of a few customer requests where we went and we did some massive warehouses. So for the last 10 years, we've basically became, well, there's no company in Australia that has a reputation where guys, because think about it, Western Australia, Queensland, resources, there's this massive requirements for accurate professional stock taking services. And these companies, they really need to be on top of their stock. And almost all of them are trying to do it internally. They didn't have a company that they could call and say, hey, listen, we know if we call you, you'll come and fix it. So I decided that we would become that company. So we've now, over the last 10 years, built up a really quite successful hit rate with clients in that industry. And our hit rate is pretty much 100% happy customers. And we have fixed up some real interesting warehouses that had interesting systems and philosophies. But we always kick a goal, because if we're hired to do something, we're going to do what it takes to get it done. We're not interested in the cheapest, nastiest, quickest stock take, fast in, fast out. We're interested in long-term business relationships and building a reputation the right way. So we've now got two specializations, and we're also a generalist. If you've got any stock, pretty much we can count it.
Yeah. Okay, nice. That's awesome. And about how many clients would you say you guys service each year, and about how many staff do you have working for you guys?
Oh, right. Okay, I'll have to estimate. I don't have the figures to hand, but we employ between 250 and 350 people a year. Now, some of them might only come and do a couple of jobs, but some of them might be working every week with us. So we've got a substantial staff pool. I would say we've probably got maybe 60 or 70 who are pretty regular. And we've got a key core senior staff of team leaders and specialists in IT and file work and app developers and all sorts of things that we've got in-house now, which is it's really exciting. I never thought I'd ever be saying I'm excited about being involved in a stock taking company when I was growing up, I can assure you. But it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. Okay. And then about how many clients would you say you service each year? Just rough ballpark.
I would say it was well over 400.
Yeah.
I think about 400 a year, something like that.
Yeah.
The number of jobs we do, obviously, there's quite a lot of repeat business and regular
Got it.
stock
Yeah,
takes in there.
true.
But probably the majority of that 400 would be one-offs for business handover. But the
Yeah.
regular ones, we've got guys who do stock takes every month with us.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. And I imagine they have multiple locations as well.
Yeah,
So it's not just like one
absolutely.
location, one time, once a year. So it's like multiple times, multiple locations. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and the other thing, talking about locations, the company that we bought into was was WA based, and we've managed to successfully have a presence now pretty much right across Australia.
Mm.
So we're able to look at helping customers who've got that broader base across, geography,
Mm.
and that's led us in the last couple of years to, kicking more goals, as you were saying before. And I
Yeah.
like the metaphor, being
Yeah.
a soccer player at 51 who still runs about and tries to kick goals.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. It's good. Okay, and then so kind of like going into that, you said one of the things that you guys are working on is expanding across Australia. So I guess what's kind of
Yeah.
like the plan with that? How do you plan on doing that?
Well, how we've got so far, I I believe that you kind of create your own future in life by what you focus on, um, what and your energy that you put towards things, and how your reticular activation system will start picking up all the opportunities in
Mm.
the direction you want to go,
Yeah.
and ultimately you can create the future that you want. So we've wanted to be Australia wide. Funnily enough, two people who were senior managers in the staff here in Western Australia moved to two other states, which was
Mm.
perfect, and that
Yeah.
helped us get to those two states. And I had a great connection with someone who worked in a stock taking company, and that stock taking company's pretty much no longer functioning. But he ran that company for 25 years and has
Yeah.
massive experience. And he's come on in another state, so we've
Okay.
managed to sort of grow that way. And yeah, also through friends of friends or connections, professional acquaintances, people recommending people. So now we do some stock takes even in New South Wales, and no, not New South Wales. What am I talking about? In New Zealand.
New Zealand. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so we've got a little bit going on over there as well. So,
Okay.
but it's all, I think, through the intent and just seeing opportunities, and then the universe
Mm.
just seems to open up sometimes and help you along
Mm.
your way. Without that, almost nothing. Without that, it's always an uphill struggle in that roller coaster. If you don't have,
Yeah.
if things don't flow your way, you're fighting a losing battle. And I think sometimes
Hmm.
there's two schools of thought. Is the universe challenging you so much because when you get there, there's so much reward on the other side?
Mm.
Or is the universe telling you, stop trying to push shit uphill and go and do something that's more productive?
Yeah.
Different schools of thought on different situations and how you interpret them.
Yeah, and I feel that that exact question is always the toughest question as well. It's like, do I keep persevering or do I pivot and do something else? And it's always at the back of your mind of like, am I doing the right thing? Especially when times are tough.
100% it is. And I had a background in multi-level marketing, and the companies are always talking about, um, winners never quit and quitters never win. And there's all these wonderful little sayings. And it's no surprise that the company says winners never quit and quitters never win, when they're dependent upon you staying with them to produce money for them. So,
Yeah.
so knowing when to quit something
Hmm.
is absolutely key in life. And I've been
Yeah.
fortunate enough that whenever I've thought about quitting this because it's been going like this, um, something just came along, like
Yeah.
a really big client, just dropped into my lap out of the universe and went, I need to stay doing this. This is a message. I need to
Yeah.
understand that, you know, we've got ourselves into a position, and I believe our reputation is first class. I believe that every time we try to do a job, we try to do a first class job to maintain that reputation and to grow the
Mhm.
business. And we're very much focused on delivering what the customer wants. So we customize everything that we do for each client. And
Mm.
we've got some fascinating clients. We do Pacific Energy, we do drilling companies, we
Mm.
do a British sausage factory the ones that make all the sausages, had no idea what sort of issues they could have, but we've gone in there to help them, and we've been in there every month, and the difference that we make for them is for them, they're amazed at the service. And just like a
Yeah.
lot of people in that sort of sector, they're not aware that there's a company out there that kicks goals.
Mm,
And I think that's a
yeah.
reflection on possibly, how our competitors market and also how they perform. And
Mm,
without knocking anyone, I mean, we're all out there doing our thing, but I just happen to think we're doing it better.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And that is often one of the key things is like the things that you don't know about is often the things that come back to bite you in the ass kind of thing. Yeah.
Well,
And there's
have we made mistakes as we grew? Oh, yes. It's
I
not been easy
can
to get the level of expertise that we've got now. And but we always did the right thing by customers. If there was a problem,
hmm
let's say we went to a liquor store, and I know exactly the liquor store that I'm talking about. And it was the first
yeah.
time we'd worked with a company called Infotel, which is an old green screen point of sale system. You
Yeah.
don't use Windows. It doesn't use a mouse. It's old, right? And
Mm,
the way it worked, oh my goodness, when we did an import, we stuffed it up. But guess
hmm
what we did? At our expense, we fixed it. And,
Yeah.
and I can tell you, it cost me money to do that job, but I wasn't leaving the customer in a shitty situation. I
Mm,
just, so although I didn't make any money, what did I have? I left a good feeling with the customer, and that for me was more important.
yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. And what would you say has like been one of the key challenges that you guys have had with these goals in terms of like growing the business, expanding all across Australia?
Well, getting the right personnel in place is tough,
Uh-huh.
but I've gone to a lot of sales meetings. I've gone to a lot of sales trainings and mentality trainings and listened to some of the sort of global gurus and all these things. And I don't necessarily believe, I believe in setting your goal, and I believe in working towards that, and I believe in putting the energy towards it. But
Yeah.
they want to break it down and make it into weekly, daily, this and that. I've
hmm
avoided that sort of stuff.
Right.
So it just kind of grows as it grows. And we
hmm
had a really, really strong, solid base in Western Australia from which to grow from. But
hmm
now we're starting to create that same solid base in Queensland, and
Yeah.
the shoots are growing in the other states.
hmm
Um, so I'm not putting pressure on it to do anything. I'm
Yeah.
just focused on growing it, taking advantage of the opportunities that come and being very grateful for them and trying our best every time we do jobs to keep that sort of direction and momentum and energy going the right way.
hmm Yeah. Okay. And so aside from personnel, is there anything else that you would say you wish could be, I guess, like more efficient or things that's just not like working or it's taking
I,
too much time?
I wish I didn't have to spend so much money on search engine optimization
Okay. Yeah.
because all the different keywords in all the different states for all the different things that we do, because I believe it's important to have a strong digital presence because
Yeah.
if someone wants a stock take, they used to look at the yellow pages. Well, nobody's got yellow
Mm,
pages anymore. So
right.
we used to have a really big advert in the yellow pages. And now I see it as it's very important to have a really big presence on Google and have a good website that
Okay.
attracts and gets people's attention and tries to put forward the messages of who we are as a company and what we can do.
Yeah. Okay. So do you find most of your clients come from, say, like it's like a search, they need a stock take, and then they search for you and they find you through Google or something like that?
After getting out there and knocking on doors for a
Mm.
number of months, I realized that I could spend my life doing that,
Mm.
or I could make sure that if someone wants a stock take, we're the company they find. So I
Mm.
decided to do that because it's a lot easier to
Easier.
pick up the
Yeah.
phone when someone wants a stock take than to knock on
Mm.
doors to try and find someone who wants one. And if they're kind of like this, you got to try and convince them. It's
Mm.
almost a waste of time. So
Yeah.
what is important is now knowing what I know, there are niches and organizations and places to get recognized and where you can do that kind of approach. And
Right.
my first, I suppose I've done all the sales up till now, um, largely with Bill Cameron, who's a partner who's been around since the 80s. But I've largely done that role. And so we've got our first employee in the sales game who's, he's got his targets. He knows what he wants to do. And it's about reaching out to the businesses that we know have issues and that we know we can fix them. And, fingers crossed that he kicks some goals. And that the good thing is that I am 100% confident that if he brings in a client, that client will call him up and thank him for bringing us to the table. Because, again, when we're doing these large warehouses, we're keeping 100% of clients happy, and no other company is doing that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It sounds like client satisfaction is a really big thing that you guys focus on.
Well, they say that bad news travels 7 times or 9 times or whatever it is faster than good news.
Yeah.
And look, when you build your reputation in a place like Perth, which is very small, everyone knows everyone. So if you make a real pig's ear of a job and you leave a customer in the shit, then it's not it's not long before everybody who's involved in that industry knows about it,
Yeah.
So I've always been very wary of leaving an unhappy customer unhappy. It maybe has happened a couple of times, but you know what? There's some pretty special people out there who it doesn't matter how much you try or how much you bend over or how well you do the job. They just want to have a go. And so there's been the odd one in the last nearly 20 years of me doing business that I've just gone, well, I think the issues, I think they're a bit mental and I can't fix that. So see ya,
Yeah,
But
gotcha.
That's a customer a decade pretty much that I can think of off the top of my head who are not happy with us.
Yeah, that's a pretty good success rate.
Maybe something along those lines. I might be minimizing it a little bit because also you do try to always remember the good things instead of just focusing on. But no, there's a handful at most in 20 years.
Yeah. Okay. And how would you say AI is like reshaping the industry with what you do?
Well, that's a good question. There are developments that are happening in software and recognition through digital cameras and things, whereby, well, we were actually approached by a cutting edge team of software developers to be their company that they do their university project alongside. So this was a few months ago, and the technology is not quite there yet where you can basically take a camera and just go around the store and it'll tell you everything that you've got accurately. It's on its way, but when you look at most stores, there's going to be areas in those stores that will not suffice because it's mixed up, it's not organized properly, there's not enough of a gap for the camera to see things. So I see there's always going to be a manual element, which I'm very happy about because I've got a stock take that's based on people going out and doing stock takes. But at the same time, I can see that certain organizations in certain sort of industries will possibly be able to move to something almost completely automated. But people they also talk about RFID chips and things like this, and that is happening. There is a revolution on its way, but people have been talking about this for 10 years. And still, it's a tiny fraction of the market that's going that direction. They want to go there, but it's still a work in progress. And RFID, for example, if you've got an RFID scanner, you can go into a shop, just kind of go around the shop. It'll tell you everything that's in there because there's a little chip on every item stock. And 10 years ago, somebody said to me, "Oh, Steve, you'd be as well getting out of this stock taking game. It's going to be replaced. In the next couple of years, everybody's going to be RFID'd and everybody's going to know where that bottle of wine came from this place and it went and did this and did that. And actually it's been stored at a poor temperature, so we know it's gone off. And all that's going to be happening. So, stock taking, mate, it's finished." And then I spoke to one of my other friends and he said, "Steve, shipping containers still go missing every day all around the world. So don't worry too much about it, mate. We're miles off that." And I went from panic to well, Christ, they can't even take care of shipping containers that are this big, huge things. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't have anything to worry about right now. But look,
Yeah.
we'll grow and adapt, and our software can handle RFID. So should a client require people to come in and do RFID things, we're, on that cusp, being able to work with all that stuff.
Yeah. 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 Okay. And then how about as like a business for you guys, aside from doing like the physical stock take, are you seeing much changes in terms of how you run the business as a business owner?
I haven't really engaged much with AI. I'm starting to. So when it comes to our promotional literature, what I like to do is I like to get the AI to draft something up. And then I
Yeah.
like to, I see that as a kind of, I maybe give it a framework with some keywords.
Mm.
And then I don't interact with AI at all. I get someone else to, because
Yeah.
I'm a bit concerned about Skynet and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I just haven't done it yet. I'm not entirely comfortable necessarily with doing it, but I take
Yeah.
what it churns out, and for me, it's not perfect in what it does. It doesn't do what I would ideally want it to do, but it does a
Yeah.
good chunk of the work, and then I can go through, reword things, tailor it, and make it actually from us. But it's a useful tool. There is no
Yeah.
doubt about it. But I don't think AI is going to have the same impact on us as it will, for example, in a law firm. I
Mm.
see a law
Yeah.
firm being far more vulnerable because ultimately looking up laws and saying this is the law and this is it can do that. Hello.
Uh, there you
Hi,
go. There you go.
sorry.
You're back.
That was a call came in. As I said, might happen. I've just cancelled it.
No worries.
So, but all good. Sorry, that kind of interrupted the flow.
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying you don't feel your business is as vulnerable to AI as like law
No, because
firms?
I do believe that there's always going to be that manual,
Mm.
ability to actually get in there, lift things up,
Yeah.
check behind stuff, make sure this is like that. And I don't think we're we're very close to that being automated as yet.
Yeah. 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 Awesome. Well, it's been great having you on a show. We could probably keep talking a long time. I really like the mindset and everything that you've said, like the reticular activation system, looking more at the positive and stuff. Where can people find you, learn a little bit more what you guys got going on?
Okay. Associated Stocktaking, www.associatedstocktaking.com.au. If you're looking for services, stock taking services, just give us a call. I'm happy to. I am one of those kind of owners that I'm still engaged with the customers because I value them enough to spend my time personally making sure that I'm dealing with my customers so they all get to speak to me. I think that's really important. I think that's something that a lot of companies have lost as they grow.
Yeah.
At the same time, if you're looking for a career in stock taking or you're looking for some casual work, please get in touch because we are expanding, we are growing, and we're looking for the best. We're always looking for better people, always.
Yeah. All right. Awesome.
Oh, actually, you can have my
Sounds
number as well. 0415165287. You can call me personally. That's how confident I am that we do a good job because I can't run away. You've got my number.
yeah, sounds good. And I'll put those notes below the episode as well, and then people can reach out to you.
No, that's brilliant, Leonard. Thanks very much for the opportunity to come on your show. I really appreciate it.
No, no worries. This has been really good. You guys have been listening to the Business Growth Podcast. Until next time, keep growing.